Hey guys, this is Mel, and I am back to talk Supernatural, this time with episode 1102, titled Form and Void, which aired Wednesday, October 14th, 2015, and it's roughly 2 hours after the episode finished for me, and I am still reeling. We learned a lot, and there are a lot of questions I still have now after this episode, so before we get started, just a reminder, if you have not seen the episode, please do so first and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode, because I'd hate for my spoiler views to influence the way you experience the episode. Also, I don't want you going in with an already preconceived notion of what's happening in the episode. I want you to make your own observations, have your own thoughts and questions when you watch the episode, and then come back and see if I share the same ones or if you picked up on something that I didn't, or vice versa. I know one thing for sure: when I watch an episode for the first time, I don't want other people's opinions to sway how I first perceive it. So if you're like that as well, then put a pause on this video, go watch the episode, and then come right back. I don't mind. It's not like I'm going anywhere with this once this video is posted, so there's that. Also, just for a quick disclaimer, any photos I use in the video, which I don't know at this point since I record and then I edit, all photos that I find or use are found on the internet, so I don't necessarily own them. The only chances I'll ever own a photo is if I'm actually in the photo. So there's that. I just wanted to put that out there. So let me just start the 10-minute clock and let's get started. So, what did we learn this episode? It's quite a bit, actually. First things first, apparently there is no set rule for how the darkness infection works. I guess it depends on the person, but Sam found out that it didn't matter when you were infected. You could go through the whole infection faster or slower than other people, which he found out. Basically, we learned that it's the next day for Sam. So he was infected the previous night, and then the man he found was infected that morning. But the man seemed to have a different progression stage than Sam would have thought. So there's that. Second, we learned that baby Amara has powers, and she's the darkness. I mean, that's kind of freaky to have like the baby showing the powers the way it did, and then like having it transform the way it is. Ugh. So, third thing, Sam finds a cure to the infection, and I have to say it's a clever one. It's actually burning holy oil and having it the black veins exposed to that burning holy oil. I thought it was pretty cool how they showed the whole burning of the veins and stuff like that. But I actually thought when they brought out the holy oil, I thought Sam was going to have to inject himself with the holy oil, and then that way the holy oil would run through his body, and that's how it will burn the infection out of him. Not that it had to be like close range to him, but I guess the close range bit allows for Sam to cure more people at the same time instead of a one-on-one deal. If it was just one-on-one, it would take forever. So there's that. Another thing, we meet Billy the Reaper. I gotta say, I was not expecting it at first. I thought it was something that only us as the audience was hearing, but then Sam was just hearing it. But she did provide quite a bit of information about the whole situation with Death being gone, and she came with a warning for the Winchester, so there was that. Also, another thing we learned is that there's this thing called the Empty, and it is a place where souls can't can't return from. So basically, Reapers can take a soul from heaven, or they can take a soul to hell. But apparently there's also this place called Empty, where a Reaper could take a soul. But with heaven and hell, a Reaper can take a soul back from it, which we've seen done before. However, if a Reaper takes a soul to the Empty, that soul cannot be retrieved again. So basically, it's like lost in the so-called Empty. So that was a frightening thought, but it was great to have a name and a possibility for something like that. So apparently not all souls are recycled or go either to heaven or hell. So there's that. So next, what was the most shocking moment of the episode? I think it'd have to be that baby Amara, aka the Darkness, feeds on souls, and it's possible that she grows with every feeding. So we see that when she feeds on Jenna's soul. And while Dean and Crowley are dealing with a soulless Jenna, we see Amara age very fast into, I believe, was an 8-year-old girl, maybe. It's around that age. She definitely could walk around on her own, that's for sure. Okay, next, top 3 favorite moments. 1, Castiel's loyalty towards the Winchesters was great to see him still have that, because despite all the tortures that his supposed brothers were giving him, he still remained loyal to Sam and Dean. He did not reveal where they were once it got down to the fact that they wanted that information, when it was clear that they weren't going to get anything out of Castiel about Metatron. Second part, Sam finding a cure for the infection. It was a very close call for Sam, but we knew that he had to find one in order, because it's only episode 2, so Sam had to find a cure. But it was interesting how he came about it, and it was interesting what it was, like I mentioned before. Third thing, Team Free Will is all back in the bunker. So Sam, Dean go back home to the bunker, and it's still a mess from when the Steins broke in, sadly, because there's that pile of books that they were going to burn. And they find a bleeding Cass behind the books. Though that does bring another question, is how did Castiel get into the bunker if there's only one key, and it's safe to assume that Sam and Dean have that key, so how did Cass get in? And I'm assuming with all his injuries, he's a little weak to just pop in. Or could the angels still pop in now? Or I guess they could pop in now because heaven's back, the gates to heaven are back open, so just wondering how he got in. This is a little question I just came up with now. Fourth thing, extra thing, was Billy the Reaper singing the song "Oh Death" when she was introduced. I thought that was fantastic. She has a beautiful voice, and I thought it was pretty perfect, because every time I hear "Oh Death," I instantly think of Supernatural. So there's that. Okay, let's get on to the top 3 peeved moments I had. Sadly, there are 3 this time. 1, the return of Hannah. While it was great, it did not last long, and what irritated me was that Hannah turned on Castiel. I mean, I wasn't expecting that at all, since they were friends and they ended on a good note. But she claims because he let Metatron go, that's where their friendship turned sour. I mean, you don't really turn on a friend that fast. So it's like, doesn't that mean that they didn't really have as strong of a friendship as Castiel thought? Which is sad. But at least Castiel did figure out as quickly as he did that Hannah was playing with him, and how she had orchestrated this whole have him severely tortured and then have her come in and kind of be like the good cop, bad cop thing, and have him rescue him the way she did. So there's that. Next peeve moment was that Sam and Dean were working on 2 separate cases. I understood the logistics behind why they needed to be separated, but it was kind of a shame that we didn't have them working together. So that was only a little one, just because I needed to think of 3. Okay, the last peeved moment I had was that Sam didn't believe that he deserved a life like he believes that Dean should have. It was during the whole moment where Sam was praying to God. So basically, this only irritates me because I just found it heartbreaking. Because once again, one brother wants the absolute best for the other brother, and yet the first one doesn't believe that he deserves the same for himself. I guess it's a long-running thing between the Winchesters, but I guess it took it on another level when Sam was actually expressing this in a prayer to God. So it wasn't just like something said between the 2 of them. It was to a higher power. So there's that. Moving on, what will I remember about this episode? 1, Sam finding the cure to the infection. That's kind of a biggie. And 2, what we learned about Amara, the darkness, and her soul eating, fast growing being that she is. So there's that. And random questions, and I have a few here actually. First one, was Dean's need to protect Amara from Crowley because she was a baby? Or was it because of what the darkness said about her and Dean being bonded and how they couldn't harm each other? I couldn't really tell the difference. I guess maybe we'll see a distinction between the two later on. But it's very clear that Dean would never hurt a child. So that's why it could get confusing. And I'm just curious. Second, God's sign to Sam, which I believe was in the form of those creepy images of Sam being tortured by those weird contraptions. Well, with that, my question is, what kind of sign is that? I mean, it's kind of like Sam's version of what hell would have been like the way we saw Dean's hell at the end of the season 3 finale. But what kind of sign is that to get from God? It's a weird thing. And how was that supposed to help with the whole infection thing, or was that supposed to allude to something else that is to come? Don't know. Hope we get answers for that. Third question: does Crowley hope to gain Amara the Darkness as an ally, like he initially hoped to do with Dick Roman and his welcome basket of muffins in season 7? I mean, that essentially is what it looks like. Crowley went to find Amara the child, and he basically started bribing her with the souls of little kids, which he gave a creepy smile for. So, does he hope that if he gains Amara's trust... Darn, I always do that. There. If he gains Amara's trust, then later on, she won't decide to turn on him and end him or his kingdom, in a sense. I don't know. It's Crowley after all. Last question. Does Dean know that Sam was infected for that brief time that he was infected for? Because I know when they returned to the bunker, they were talking about Amara and the Darkness and how she was a baby, and yet they thought she was a grown woman, and then Dean thought that maybe the grown woman was something he hallucinated, when in fact the baby is the Darkness. So I don't know, but I'd assume during their drive back they must have came up, but I'm not sure. Maybe they'll clarify about that later. So because my timer went off, let's go through predictions very quickly. First off, we're going to see an older Amara in the next episode. If each soul feeding of hers equals to her growing a few years, then I think she's going to grow pretty quickly to the woman that we saw in the premiere episode. Second, Sam and Dean are going to have to find a way to get Castiel cured from Rowena's attack dog spell. And until then, Cass is going to struggle with the urge to basically attack. Third, Metatron has to come up at some point. The whole episode for Cass was basically trying to beat the location of Metatron out of him. So he's got to show up at some point. Plus, he also has, I believe it's the demon tablet he has. He either has a demon tablet or he has the angel tablet. So he has one of them. So there's that. Next, I still believe that Michael or Lucifer will be shown or brought up again at some point in this season. Don't know what capacity, can't wait to do it, or can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to see what form we see them in. Next part, Crowley's plans for Amara may not go as he planned. She may turn on him sooner than he thinks, or sooner than he wants to happen, so there's always that. And last prediction, hopefully we learn more about this empty that Billy brought up to Sam. It seems ominous and very scary, and I would hate to be sent there, for sure. So with that said, what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like? What did you notice? What questions do you have? And what predictions do you have about it yourself? I'd love to hear about it. Also, I'm not sure if any of you do this, but from time to time, I usually check the convention videos, the Supernatural convention videos, just for a quick laugh, or just to see what the Jensen and Jared reveal, spoiler-wise, about the season. And did anyone else hear about the hashtag blame the Musk thing they have going on? I saw a little video about it, and I gotta say, it was hilarious, and I wish I had seen it in person, because every time I rewatch that, it's lots of laughs for sure. And then the little song they have for the hashtag blame the Musk was pretty hilarious. That convention could be a lot of fun. If you haven't been to one, try to. Whenever it's closest to you, just try going. No matter which one you go to, you're bound to have a lot of fun. Cast is hilarious. They're really close-knit, and I highly suggest you at least go to one, for sure. With that said, leave a comment below if you have your own thoughts, observations, predictions about the show, Supernatural. And don't forget to like this video. I would truly appreciate it. I mean, you guys are taking your time to watch this video, and it really means a lot to me that someone is listening to what I have to say, even if it's for a show that I like. It's very hard to meet people who actually have the same TV interests. So with social media, it makes it a lot easier to connect with people in the fandom. That's for sure. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I would love it. Don't have to, I'm not going to force you. Check out my videos if you haven't done so already. If you haven't checked, I've started doing one for The Walking Dead. I'm hoping that does far better. But I'm a new fan, so I just wanted to see if I could do those. And I'm thinking of doing one for the new show Shadowhunters. So I'm going to post one for that within the week maybe, so check those out if you're a fan of the Mortal Instruments series. That's what the TV show is based off of. And also, don't forget to share this video with your other Supernatural fan friends that you have. Love to spread the fandom along. Just to get the fan base growing would be fantastic. I'd love to see Supernatural go on for longer than the 11 years that it's been going on. Truly think it just gets better and better with each year. So, I've rambled on, probably longer than I should have. So, till next time, this is Mel, wishing you all a fantastic day wherever you are. So, bye-bye for now.